On this channel, we love to run numbers for people. Recently saw this, that the average recommended amount for a retiree is 555,000. Oftentimes we think it's a million, but let's run it at 555,000. Say you reach retirement, you have 555,000. This is what we do on this channel. Let's say we do the typical 60-40 asset split, 60% staying in the S&P 500, which was what we use on this channel, the S&P 500, the returns for the last 100 years. The rest is going into a cash reserve account, that 40%. So when the market's going down, the money's coming. The money that you're taking out is coming out of there instead of the S&P 500. And let's say you need $4,500 a month. And say for Social Security, you're going to get 2,850. Let's go ahead and run the numbers right away. I'm going to show you that it's going to be really good shape with 3.57% withdrawal rate. Don't think you can have a problem except the numbers, possibly in 1929. I didn't run this ahead of time. Let's see what it shows. Nope, even in 1929. Why do I mention 1929? Because we had all these down years, beginning in down, 4 down years, down another one, and down 3 more years. 2000 was also a bad decade. But it looks like in this case, the recommended 555,000, if you get this for Social Security, you'd be just fine. But let's go ahead and let's take Social Security in the 4th year. Instead of at age 62, you can take it at 65. Now the initial withdrawal rate is 4.73 or 9.73%, which is way above the 4%. But once you reach the age 65, when you start taking Social Security, then it'd knock it down to 4.16% withdrawal rate. Let's see how those numbers might work out. 0% failure rate before. Now we got a 4% failure rate. And almost every case, 96% of the time, you'd be just fine with all kinds of money. The only problem is with 1929, around the Depression years, and also the year 2000. And we've seen why that is, because right here we had 3 down years. Here we had 4 down years plus a bunch more. So those are the only scenarios, given this recommended amount, 555,000, taking out 4,500. Now let's say you need 5,000 a month. Now we're going to update it. Now we're at a 10.81% withdrawal rate before Social Security kicks in. You wait till age 65, and we got a 5.31% withdrawal rate, which is going to make this quite a bit higher. I haven't run the numbers, but instead of a 4% failure rate, I'm going to go up to just a second to 21%. Now that gets a little bit uncomfortable there. But see the difference that made between going between 4,500 and 5,000? Let's just do kind of a happy medium here. 4,700, which would be a 10.16 the first 3 years withdrawal rate, but only a 4.62. If we can get that close to 4% with these amounts we're needing, then this 555,000 looks like it's going to work out. 10% of the time you'd have an issue. This is the graph. During the Depression years and around the year 2000, again, those are the decades were problem decades, the Depression decade and the year 2000. But it looks like every other scenario, you're doing quite well at 4,700 with a 60-40 split. Now we could change the COLA. If you want to go to a 2% COLA, it'd be a 4.41 then. Let's see how that changes the numbers. See if this affects the 10% much. If we go from a 3% down to a 2%. This just shows you what we do on this channel. Come on, all kinds of different variables. Again, we're just looking at the recommended amount of 555,000. Now you're down to a 4% failure rate, which is very much more comfortable. Again, the Depression years and a couple around the year 2000, but every other scenario, these are the kind of numbers you'd have. You have a 96% success rate after 20 years and 93% success rate after 30 years. That's what we do on this channel. I just thought I'd run the numbers. Their recommended amount is 555,000, and we're just looking at how Social Security might affect that. Again, that's if you're getting 2,850. What if you're only getting 2,500? 500, and let's go back to the 4,500. Stay with the 3% COLA, and let's go and update this. Initial withdrawal percentage is 9.73 the first 3 years, then 4.92 for those years after. And it looks like we're going to have still have that 10% problem area there. Now again, if you take it in the very first year, now you got the 4.32%. I think you're going to be a lot more comfortable if you took it at age 62, if this was the amount you had and this was the amount you were starting with, and this is the amount you need for expenses. But that just shows you what we do. We can run all kinds of different numbers. Look at this. The only time you run out of money is in between the 20 and 30th year, 1929, 1930. Every other scenario, you're just fine because you're taking the Social Security early. So you're not needing this $4,500 off from your nest egg because $2,500 comes from Social Security. You only need $2,000 from your nest egg. But that's what we do on this channel. We run different numbers for people. Please consider subscribing. Please share. Please comment and like these videos. And thanks for watching.